In each of the three examples that were brought, there is a clear connection between the location name and the incident. In the case of Bavel, we link the word Bavel to Balal. Balal translates as mixing together, bringing confusion, and hence whenever one refers to the name Bavel, there is a constant reminder of the event that took place, namely the confusion that God brought to the inhabitants of the city, thereby forestalling the completion of the tower. Similarly, the city of Beersheba, Shin Bet Ayin, is to swear, to make an oath, and therefore whenever one refers to Beersheba, it will remind one of a treaty that was made many years earlier between Avraham and Avimelech. Meriva is a dispute. Masa is connected to the word Nisayon, the pushing of one's boundaries, the testing of limitations. And therefore, whenever one refers to the city Masa Meriva, there is that constant reminder of an event that took place in which Bnei Israel created a dispute with the leadership, pushing the boundaries of God's tolerance when they questioned the involvement that God had with the nation. Hayesh Hashem b'kirbeinu, is there a God amongst us? When we come to the use of the words Dizahav, there is nothing in these two words that point to the creation of the Egel. What they do point to are side aspects that are tangential to the incident. If, for example, they had named the city Egel or Egel HaZahav, one might have an argument that the incident informed the location. In other words, the location was named on account of the making of the Egel HaZahav. Dizahav, on the other hand, does not necessarily point to the making of the Egel, but to other aspects in this process. In fact, the making of the Egel, as recorded in Shmot 32, has nothing to do with the Zahav aspect. We are told that at the end of the 40-day period, the nation noted that Ki boshesh Moshe laredet min ha'ar. Moshe had delayed, he had not arrived back into the camp from Har Sinai. Their conclusion was, Ha'ish asher ha'elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim lo yadanu mehayalo. We do not know what has happened to the man who brought us out from Egypt, and therefore their request was, Kum aseh lanu Elohim, create for us a god or a leader, asher yelchu lefanenu, that will take upon itself the role of leadership. The fact that it was an egel and the fact that it was made from gold was not part of their request. And therefore, when Moshe makes the statement V'di Zahav, for which the interpretation of di is die in abundance of Zahav, it cannot be argued, as do the Rashbam, the Ibn Ezra, and the Chizkuni, that Moshe is referring to the making of the Egel HaZahav that took place in a city called Di Zahav. Because, as Rashi points out, the abundance of Zahav was, on the one hand, an attempt to minimize the sin on account of God putting them in this situation for which they were unprepared to deal with, namely the abundance of Zahav, or conversely, as is noted by Rashi in Devarim, by referencing the pasuk in Hosea, Kesef hirbeiti lahem v'zahav, I gave them a gift, and not only did they not appreciate this gift, they took this gift and applied it for a purpose that was contrary to my intention. Emphasis here with the word Dizahav is the ingratitude and the abuse of the gift given to them by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, from the standpoint of the Pshuta Shel Mikra, Rashi cannot maintain that Dizahav is the hint to the Egel, and that Dizahav is the name of a city, which brings him back to the original thesis that we might have suggested that Moshe's mentioning of Dizahav was for other purposes. To forewarn this possibility, Rashi includes in his commentary the words Hochichan, that the Dizahav is also a rebuke, in this case referring to the making of the Egel HaZahav. The rebuke, however, is two-pronged. One, the making of the Egel, and two, the abuse and ingratitude demonstrated by the nation.